Hello everyone, it's me, Anthony Coach, a guitarist on YouTube. Enter Sandman by Metallica, probably one of the most taught songs that I've taught the most, ever since becoming a guitar teacher 15 years ago. And for good reason. It's a massive song. Whether, you're one of the people who think that the Black Album signalled the end of Metallica's authenticity as a metal band, or you just think it's a very good hard rock album, no one can deny the iconic status of that song and that riff. And I want to talk about that riff today. I want to overanalyze that riff today. That's what I like to do. Why? Well, so we can steal from it. First of all, I'm going to show you how to analyze something, how I analyze music, especially melody. And then secondly, how you can incorporate that into your own playing. In other words, we're stealing music from Metallica. If you believe the legend, the way that this song got written was Kirk Hammett was in an hotel room somewhere on tour and recorded loads of riffs into a tape recorder, one of which was which is slightly different to the riff that we know and love today. But that's beside the point, because I want to talk about this bit. What's going on there? Because this is one of those iconic moments, the legendary story. Oh, it just came to me. It was 3 in the morning in an hotel room and I played it. But there is music theory to be explored here that we can use and we can steal. One of the bits of music theory is rhythmic, and one of the other bits of music theory is melodic. Let's go into that melodic section. The way that I like to analyse music, and the way that I'm going to talk about analysing this riff today, is by thinking about what clues the riff gives you. Because most of the time, analysing music is about thinking about the notes that are being played and the notes that aren't being played.
You have to listen to the notes she's not playing.
I can do that at home.
That's quite an odd thing to say, I'm aware of that. So what notes are being played? The notes that are being played are E. That's an E power chord, but we're just going to call it E. Slide up to, that's another E. So far, so good. There is no scale being implied yet. Then we get this interesting note. What is that note? What is fret 6 on the low E string? I don't know why I did that. It's a B flat. That's already making me think something. I'm thinking of scales that have got an E and a B flat in there. Maybe Locrian, maybe the blues scale, maybe the diminished scale. Who knows at this point? Then we get that note, fret 7, 5. Fret 5 on the low E string. What note is fret 5 on the low E string? It's an A. So now I've got the notes E, 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 B flat, B. There they are up on screen. Okay. If I had some magical software to jumble them up in a nice aesthetically pleasing way, then I would do it. All I've got is fade. So underneath that, I'm going to fade those same notes, E, 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 B flat, A, into order. In other words, into scale order. A comes before B in a scale usually. So here we go. Those notes are now in order. So now I've got to do some detective work and think, well, what is likely to be? Can't believe I'm talking about 4 notes in such depth, but this is music theory. This is what I love, and hopefully people learn from thinking like this. I can think about what scales fit the bill. These scales fit the bill in terms of what you could fill the gaps with. But I know for a fact that this song is using this one, the E blues scale. How do I know that? Well, the vocals tell me. There is no crazy stuff going on with the vocals. James Hetfield doesn't sing an F. The guitar solo features the minor pentatonic scale and the blues scale probably somewhere. But there you go, that's that first process that you have to take. If you want to analyse a riff, You think, what notes have they given me? What are the actual notes? Write them all down. If you know standard notation, write them on a stave. If you don't, just write the note names. Then put them in order. That's an important step. Then think about, you know, what scales use those notes. You know, when you put them in order, it makes it more obvious. Now, there's a massive thing that is going unsaid here, and that is that you have to have like a little storeroom in your head full of scales that you can identify, scales that you know that you've memorized. So when you look at a jumble of notes that are seemingly random, you can analyze it and you can go, okay, it could be this scale, could be that scale, it might be this one, it's probably that one. Why is that important? Why would you even do that? Why not just learn how to play Enter Sandman by Metallica? That's fine. People learn how to play other people's songs on a guitar. That's what they're there for. But something else that they're there for is for playing music that you want to create. And if you want to create music that is inspired by your guitar playing heroes, then you can do it by intuition and experience, but you can do it a lot quicker when you analyse it. Anyway, I said there were two things about this riff. Melodic, and now we're going to analyse the rhythmic, because this is one of those riffs that doesn't start on beat one. It's always surprising, interesting for me when I'm teaching, when I tell people, you know, this riff doesn't start on beat one. And that can sometimes shock a lot of people, like, really, what does it start on? That's something to be aware of. Why doesn't every piece of music just start on beat one? Well, let's have a listen what it does to this riff. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Makes it more march-like. Heavy metal tends to be almost military-like in some of its rhythms, but that, it stops the riff dead. Bam, 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 ba, da, da. Bam, bam, ba, da, da. Bam, it's like a, you know, imagine a ball rolling. Bam, bam, ba, da, da. Bam, bam, ba, da, da. Bam, like you have to keep pushing the riff. As soon as you syncopate, that is to say, to emphasise a note that's not on a beat, to syncopate that first note and put it on the and of 4 of the preceding bar, that sounds fancy, doesn't it? All I'm saying there is, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, there. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, bad, bad, bad. So that beat 1, gets hidden. When you hide beats, that makes an audience bang their head, I think. Tap the foot, dance. If you spoon feed an audience a beat, music gets quite boring. As soon as you add syncopation to a riff, a solo, a melodic line, a vocal line, people fill in the gap. They know where the beat is, whether they study music or not. That's where they're nodding their head, because you're not doing it for them. It makes them want to dun 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 dun. Here it is, without syncopation, followed by with, and it's going to make you headbang. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. As for that, that's just G and an F sharp. That's implying an E minor scale. So E minor and E blues scales, very closely linked. They're interchangeable in music, especially in rock and blues-based metal and rock music. Whatever is minor, you can play blues stuff over it. Whatever is blues, you can play minor or Aeolian stuff over it. That's how I've always seen it anyway. Analysing a riff, it's been a while since I've done this, and I thought, well, let's get the ball rolling with the most famous riff ever written. So hopefully you enjoyed it, hopefully you're still watching. If you are, thank you very much. Thank you to these names who support me over on Patreon, where you'll find a little video just as thanks, usually linked to the video, you know, the YouTube video that you're watching now, except today it's not gonna be. It's gonna be about something completely different over there on Patreon. Anyway, thank you so much. Go and listen to some Metallica, it's good for you. And I will see you in the next video.